there was someone on there that said, I am unsubscribing because you watch this garbage. Someone unsubscribed after a reaction when I didn't even say whether I liked it or not.
That is classic. Beginning of my video. Boom.
Welcome back to Boring Reviews.
Boring land.
Oh, just kidding.
Blasphemer. Hello,
right.
Boring Review Nation.
Kind of pointless.
We know all things. It was over in a snap.
We really want it. Alright, we'll be nice.
Only you can be a Patreon.
Oh my gosh!
It's crazy.
You don't need to follow the show to be hyped.
All right, welcome back to Boring Land. No snaking today.
Wow.
Nick here.
You know what? I'm still a little bit of a daze, so that's how come I wasn't able to get it out quick enough. Gabe here.
Taking advantage of him being in the hot sun. It's not really that hot, but it's hot and it's been a little while. So we have given you our quick reactions after the theater. If you're paying attention minute to minute to Boring Reviews, which I know you are, and I know a lot of you are asleep right now, then you know I just posted Gabe's reaction. He just got out of the movie theater less than an hour ago, and he head on over here, and we are ready to review or to record our review for Baaghi 3. This is going to be spoilers aplenty, and if you're watching this, I'm assuming you've already seen it anyways, or you're just hoping that we are going to hate on it because you just can't stand it. Man, there's so much hateful comments in a respectful way that were sent after my reaction I posted a day and a half ago.
Well, you know what's funny? I mean, and sometimes it's fun to do, you know what I mean? Like when a movie comes out and it's so bad that you'll just have like, I have to go ahead and voice my opinion. Again, I don't think that was the case with this movie, but you know, this is off the rails as normal. We were going to record Hellboy, and I called Nick, and he was like, bro, you're way too passionate about it. Let's just do something else, because I was good.
Passionate, I mean, he was angry.
I was so angry at the director, man. They probably would have shut down the channel, sent somebody to my house, Black Ops, like... If they knew where I live, you know what I mean? Because I was going to say some disparaging things about that movie. But this one... It was different for me because I didn't watch Baaghi 1, and I remember even when you did the review for Baaghi 1, people were like, Baaghi 1? That wasn't a great movie. And
I gave it an A- because I loved it
but
that
you
much.
stood on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that about you. You know, you got your principles like, hey, we all have those guilty pleasures when it comes to like certain movies. Come on, Fast and the Furious, what are we up to? Fast and the Furious 13 here in the United States? They all make buku money because, of course, they keep making them. And they even had the spin-off movie, what was it? Hobbs and Shaw. It's a cash cow. So, of course...
And you go into those movies knowing you're not going to get theater.
Right.
You're not going to get top-notch filmmaking. Right. You're going to get a whole bunch of ridiculousness that makes no sense.
Right.
And I'm glad that you referenced that, because that's what this movie is. So I did not know anything about Baaghi 1 when I went into it. Like you said, I have a review out there. I absolutely loved just about every minute of it. I did not, in my review, say this is great cinematography and filmmaking and whatnot. I just really enjoyed it. So as I'm watching this movie, as I'm going through it, I'll keep thinking to myself, do I like this one more than Baaghi 1, less, blah, blah, blah. And it's good to marinate it. And it's funny because so many people assume that I love this movie with my reaction, but if you listen to my reaction closely, I don't mention whether I love it or hate it. I mention some things I liked, some things I didn't like.
Right.
So we're just going to jump right into, let's start with the things that we like, because I'm having a feeling from your reaction and there may be less of this than the things we did not like.
Well, here's the thing. It was my first experience with Tiger Shroff, correct?
Shroff, yeah.
And I tell you what, as an action star, this guy sells it, man.
Oof.
He did some really cool stunts that I had never seen before. You know, the split underneath the tank, that was super cool. There's a one that it was almost a Tom Cruise-esque kind of a scene when he's hanging off the side of the helicopter. That was super cool. Like, this guy put himself in some positions, and even when we saw the behind the scenes filming, we saw, hey, he got injured during that tank scene. Like, these things aren't easy to do, even with the green screens, even with special effects. So some of those scenes were super, super cool.
I mean, you gotta give all the credit to Tiger Shroff.
Right.
He went 100%. And not just that, but there's no way they did not know that what they were doing was in some levels ridiculous and silly.
Right.
And they make mention of it, but it doesn't matter. He was not sitting there pouting in the corner like, I don't want to do anything that's not great.
Right.
He's going to give the fans what he thinks they want 100%. Right. And you really can't dog him for that. Right. His acting was not that great. We'll get to that later.
Right.
But he was, for what he was doing, he was committed.
So I like that part. I like the dance scene in it. I think that both dance scenes were actually filled in seamlessly. I hate when you're in a movie, and sometimes that's one of my complaints, where they just break out in a song and dance, especially in Indian cinema, where it doesn't make sense. But here, it made both sense. Both big dance pieces, because one was at the wedding and the other one was when they were at the club. So that fit in the story. So that was really cool. Oh my gosh.
So let's talk about that song.
Our heroine. I'm sorry. What was her name?
Shraddha Kapour.
She's
is
Shraddha
the
Kapoor.
actress's name.
Vicky Please. Yes, that's her, right? From Vicky Please? No?
From Street? Yeah.
From Street. Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful.
She is.
Wow.
And when I said in my reaction that she was fantastic, she just looks fantastic.
Right.
I liked her chemistry with Tiger Shroff. I'll get to my negatives later, okay? That's the best I can. And she's a great dancer, and she's got great positivity on screen. But talking about that song, it's called Bankas.
Right.
This song is a running theme in this movie. That song I found is actually a recreation of another song, a version of Ek Ankh Maru from Tafa from 1984. So they took something that was already out there and they redid it and they put their spin on it. The dancing, fantastic. I love seeing Shraddha Kapoor and Tiger Shroff dancing together. It's my biggest highlight of Baaghi 1 where they sing Chum, Chum, Chum. That's a great part of that movie, and this song was a great part of this movie. But again, it was a recreation. It was not original. And that's a running theme throughout this movie.
I did not know that, but I mean, I did like it. I like both of those scenes. So those were the strong parts of the scene. And it's funny, you talked about Tiger Shroff's acting in this. I don't think it was the best. This, again, being fair, this is the first time I've seen him in anything. I actually thought that the character that played his brother was better.
Yes,
Vikram had a very a vulnerability about him that was so innocent that I really, really liked his performance in this.
Yeah, I did too.
So normally you don't get the co-star that outshines the star, so to speak, but I think that the material he was given was just better, flat out better. But yeah, that's what I took away from this movie. The action scenes were great, the dance set pieces were great, and I really liked Vikram's performance.
All right, so I have quite a few positives. Surprise, surprise.
Okay.
I still have not said whether I overall like this movie or dislike this movie, but there's a lot of positives I have. You talk about performances. In my opinion, hands down, the best performance, the most appealing character, in my opinion, was the character of Akhtar, the Pakistani guy who was trying to be a pickpocket or whatever, played by Vijay Varma.
Oh, yeah.
I thought this guy popped off the screen, and I challenge anyone who's seen this movie to tell me that I'm wrong, because he was fantastic. He was in Gully Boy, and he was also in, we've watched it and we reviewed it. He was in something else too. I just looked it up. It's going to drive me crazy. He is great in everything that he's in that I've seen. This is now the third time I've seen him in a movie. And he looked very comfortable on screen. Right. He played a character that you cared about. He was invested, but he was not over the top. It was like he was acting in a different movie from a different style. But for me, he completely was the highlight of the film as far as acting goes. So great job once again, Vijay Varma. I love the jokes. Did you not like the jokes in this movie?
You know what?
And the people in my theater, we were talking about how crowded was it. I only had about 50. You said you had 25 in your theater. The people that were watching the movie with me, we were loving the jokes, especially in the middle. Right.
There were definitely some funny jokes there.
Sequences and scenes.
And some funny sequences. But I think that some of it, like tonally, you ever find yourself like, I laughed before everybody else laughs, and I was like, wait, was that supposed to be a funny scene? Because I was confused at points, you know what I mean?
Well, there's that, too.
So I was like,
there's a lot of scenes where you're like, what?
Wait, was that supposed to be funny? You know what I mean?
But the parts that were intentionally funny were hilarious. They made a lot of movie references. They made Singham and Simba. That is from the Cop universe. We just watched Suryavanshi.
Right.
That was AJ's character and Ranveer Singh's character. And then they even said, and soon to be, Suryavanshi. So they know that this is releasing when the trailer just got released and that movie's coming up next. I thought that was great because Vikram plays that cop character who they think is a tough guy and a cool guy. They even mentioned Dabang, Salman Khan's character. I love seeing Ronnie pretend to be helpless. I loved how much he was enjoying with these mobsters.
That was a funny
or
scene.
These terrorists, I should say, not mobsters, but these terrorists, where he was just like, "Oh, please don't, please don't." And it was fantastic to watch that. Right. And I loved how his character Ronnie. I loved how he didn't need the credit. And he had no problem giving the credit to his older brother, who was being a good younger brother. His father tells him, which I found out, the actor that plays their father is actually Tiger Shroff's father.
Real father. Yeah, you can tell. That dude's yoked too, man. Holy cow, for an older cop,
I didn't realize
he was yoked.
And I thought the young kid that played young Tiger, I thought they did a great job casting him because I could see him looking and seeming like someone that could be Tiger Shroff at one point. Right. I thought that was pretty cool. Other things I liked was I like how they made fun of the hero entrance, because that hero entrance was so over the top. He flexes those huge muscles. His shirt is expanding. He comes out, Ronnie. I mean, it's so over the top, but they make fun of it beforehand. For me, they know exactly what they're doing. And when Shraddha Kapoor's character mentions that, I thought that was pretty funny. And then I thought that the action was great, like you mentioned. It wasn't fantastic. My favorite action sequence, maybe you can mention yours. My favorite was in the train area where they had the two steam engines parked and lights on, lights off. I thought that whole sequence was great. I thought the action was the best in that part.
I think the action was really good in that scene as well. He put a lot of his skills right there and displayed them. You know what I mean? It was really, really believable. For me, it was the movie theater scene though. That was hilarious because, again, it was one of those situations where they're telling you this is over the top right now, and she's even talking about how in action movies it's not believable, but he's coming here running. And it's funny because we were talking about when we saw the trailer, I was like, man, this guy's a great runner. He flexes as he runs. He might be the best runner in Bollywood. I didn't realize it was going to be a part of the joke of the movie, the way he runs. You know what I mean? This robotic stiff, every muscle perfectly flexing.
Unbelievable. I wonder how many push-ups he does, because you notice in that scene in the movie theater when he comes to Vikram's rescue that he's just completely jacked and yoked and greased up. But then the next scene, he's sitting down on a couch in the house talking with their uncle, and or their surrogate uncle, and he's still big, but he's not nearly as defined. And I'm like, man, he must really go through the ringer for those action scenes, because everything is just like. I'm
pretty sure there was a lot of push-ups to be done on that set, man. Like, hold on, camera on set, quiet. Bust out a quick 50 or something. Like, I could do 50 push-ups, stop it. But he could do 50 push-ups, I'm sure, in his sleep, and just be ripped for the next scene.
All right, so those are my my positives. Those are things I enjoyed, and there was enough throughout the movie for me to stay entertained throughout. Now let's transition into the bad, and I'm gonna start off my transition into the bad with the overall element at the end, the action sequence with the helicopters and with the fight with the bad guy. I thought that fell flat. I thought, this is not what I wanted for that ending sequence. I don't care, even though I'm a fanboy of Baaghi and the over the top. Even I did not really enjoy seeing those 3 helicopters we saw in the trailer and him running away, and then they're shooting and none of them can hit him, and it's just. I mean, it was a great visual scene, but even for this movie, it made no sense. And then there's so much to talk about. Let me just start off, and I'll let you go. My next thing that drove me crazy the most was the brother-brother relationship. It was so weird. It was almost like boyfriend-girlfriend. It was very, very odd, especially the feeding scene. Now, that might be a cultural thing. I have no idea. But this grown man has to feed this other grown man who's pretending to be this big old tough guy cop this food. When his wife's doing it, he's like, no, I need Ryan to do it. That was very, very weird for me. But again, maybe it's a cultural thing. I have no idea.
I gotta say, for me, the helicopter scene, I still don't know how. And again, guys, spoilers, you guys know. I don't even know how he got out of it, okay? I still don't understand what happened there, because all of a sudden the helicopters just start going down.
Tom Cruise running.
What happened? You know what I mean? What? Did
he and they all land on each other?
Yeah, I was like, what just happened here?
Not just that, but he had the cord. He had the cord as he's running, and the next second he's flying from it. What'd you attach it to?
I'm telling you, there were certain things, and I think that for me, this movie just tonally was so different. This was like 3 or 4 different movies. I can think of Over the Top. This is a very old movie, but it was super, super funny with
Sylvester Stallone.
No, with Adam Sandler.
Oh, I thought the movie Over the Top.
No, I think you're talking about. No, but I mean the movie being over the top. You remember the movie Don't Mess with the Zohan?
Yes.
It was that over the top, which was funny at times, but then it tried to take itself serious at times, where at the end, and I do like that one part, but I was like, this doesn't fit in this movie. When he's trying to free his brother Ronnie, and then he's like, I'm not leaving without all my people. So then, okay, all the, he says, all right, the main terrorist bad guy, let go of all the Indians, separate the Indians from the Pakistanis. He said, no, you didn't hear me. I'm not leaving without all my people. So then he's like, but those are all my brothers. That's what he says. And he goes, but those are Pakistanis. Those are your enemies. And he says, in life, we all have a mutual enemy, and that's you. He's talking about terrorism. okay, it was a great message, and I can even that scene, but it's so out of tone for this movie because this is supposed to be
Back and
campy,
forth, yeah.
over the top. There were so many times
Oh,
when
it was over the top.
when you caught the actors looking right at the camera, and I'm only assuming that that's supposed to be like a Deadpool. That's another movie that it reminds me of because they're breaking that fourth wall. Like, yeah, we know, again, when she was explaining about how all the running scenes and hero entrances are fake and they're doing it right at the same time. So it was like, pick one. You cannot go back and forth from so many different tones. At least for me, I think that's what took me out of the movie because it was so many different tones.
It's almost like
like
a buffet table. You can take a little bit of the Asian food. I'm going to take a little bit of the American food, a little bit of the Indian food.
Right.
I'm going to mix it all together. And, you know, at the end of the day, you get heartburn. I mean,
You say you get heartburn.
but the thing that cracked me up, though, is after I posted the reaction that I did, there was someone on there that said, I am unsubscribing because you watch this garbage. Someone unsubscribed after a reaction when I didn't even say whether I liked it or not.
That is classic.
I mean, that's how passionate these people
Well,
are.
you know what? It's we are all like that. Like the comic book community. People were like, how could you, people I know, friends, how could you go support Birds of Prey and go watch that garbage? They made it. I'm gonna go watch it. Okay, they made it. I'm gonna go watch
their fault.
it. What do you want me to? What do you want me to do? Okay, listen.
Ooh, if they make a Baaghi 4, I'm there.
Listen. let's be real. We're probably gonna go watch it. Okay, these movies. It's one of the only big Indian movies that has been released this month in cinema locally to us. It's one of the only things we could watch.
One theater, and there is at least 25 to 30 theaters within 10 miles of us. One theater.
Exactly. B, I know you like the first part, so I was like, yeah, let's do something that's fresh, that's relevant. Let's go check it out. He's a big star. Why not watch it? I don't even blame Tiger Shroff, honestly. I remember, and I forgot who mentioned this a long time ago, actors don't really know, because movies now, the editing, and I wanted to talk about the editing. I hated the jump cut scenes, the fadeaway scenes.
Not just that, but how many punches did you count missed by a mile, and they show you that part
and I'm
of
like,
it?
what do you guys do? Like the
At
editing,
least 3 or 4.
Yeah, the editing was horrible. But like Jared Leto, that's who it was. People gave him so much hate for Suicide Squad, which I still love. And me, other than Angry Joe, are some of the only reviewers
Jeremy
that say,
Johns liked it.
okay, I love this movie. But he said, I filmed so many scenes that I could have had my own Joker movie. How many people would actually, big actors, serious actors, would turn down the opportunity to be Joker? Let's think about who had it before. Jack Nicholson, right? Of course, the iconic Heath Ledger, who won the
We are so off the rails.
the Oscar. But what I'm saying is, like, when it comes to it, Tiger Shroff probably didn't even know what this was going to end up like. You got to blame the director because it's his whole vision. You know what I mean? You can't blame the actor because the actor is like trusting in the director's hands.
But I don't know, and I feel like Tiger Shroff is so passionate about making the fans happy with these movies because there is a huge fan base. These movies, This movie's going to make a bunch of money. It really is. But I don't know how uninvolved he is. I would venture to think that he's probably pretty involved. He's a star. This is the third one. I mean, I don't even know if he's not. He might even be a producer on the film. Who knows? I see what you're saying.
Right.
It's not the actor's fault, and this is just speculation, so we're not sure how involved he was. But you have a good point. It's not the actor's fault. And I think a lot of the hate that I've seen so far, none of it's really towards Tiger Shroff, besides, oh, the man can't act, the man can't act. I mean, the guy goes all out. Looks like he does most of his own stunts.
Right.
He did a fantastic job, but the whole movie, like you said, the whole buffet style of the movie, it really, any highs you had, it brought you right down to a low. There was Shraddha Kapoor. She's beautiful. I think she's a really good actress. She has a great job in Stree. I really enjoyed her in the first Baaghi. I felt like she tried, but I felt like they gave her nothing to do.
She was wasted in this movie. Absolutely.
Completely wasted.
She was wasted in
and
this
she
movie.
was her acting when she was emotional and sad was so over the top. And so was Tiger Shroff, but he's been that in all 3 films I've seen him in now. That's just how he is.
Right.
And unfortunately, she was feeding off that. I thought that that she was a disappointment besides her great dancing. I mentioned the missed punches. There's that scene where he's talking to Vikram on the phone, and Vikram gets taken. It reminded me completely from the scene from Taken.
Right.
And then the bad guy leaves the phone and leaves his fingerprints so they can find. There was so many things that were so convenient. And a movie like this, where there's not any believability, you lend yourself open for all that kind of criticism.
Right.
There's a lot of scenes like that was weird. Why in the world when he's fighting the big guy? And I thought it was kind of funny. The big guy's like, just leave me alone. Just stop. Like he had enough. Why in the world does he get run over? Like, that was just so weird. Now, the one thing I will say is I was totally fooled. At the beginning of the movie, when you see that guy lying on the floor and Tiger Shroff keeps yelling, Vikram.
Yeah.
I was fooled. I was like, okay, the guy dies. But that leads me, so they tricked me there. Nice job. But then that leads me to, why in the world do you go out of your way to kidnap Vikram? What was Vikram doing there in the first place? Some kind of delegate nonsense going to Syria. It made you think that the police that sent him were in on the terrorist side.
Right.
But he's there conveniently. They kidnap him. They know someone knows about it, and all they do is they just storm with the rest of the families, and they have no real end game. They have no specific mission for him to put on the bomb. And I mean, it made no sense. This guy took out so much of that division of IPL's division of terrorists.
Right.
You had nothing for him to do, so he's conveniently allowed to stick around until Tiger shows up. The one thing I will say with Vikram, the redeeming quality, finally they gave him some stones. Finally he fought back.
Right.
It was, he's not the best at action.
Right.
It wasn't very believable. There's no way Ronnie survives.
Right.
All that kind of stuff. We're getting to serious spoiler territory. That's why the ending was so weird. Man, I can go on. The villain, the main villain, I thought he was fearsome at first. And then he was lame. IPL, I thought he was cool at first. He had the awesome hair. He had the sunglasses. And then he just switched on a dime because he found out they were screwing him. And now he wants to save these people.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. And it takes you out of the movie way too much.
I kind of I disagree with you there. I liked IPL's arc. Because
Blasphemer!
I liked IPL's arc because you know what? You're selling out your own people, right? And then it comes to the end and you find out, listen, like you said, for 15 years you've been working with them, and on a dime they just turn on you. Well, they're terrorists. What do you think? Duh.
But then he did a complete 180 and he's willing to sacrifice himself? Like that?
And at that part I liked because he was willing to sacrifice himself. He figures, look, I'm dead regardless because these terrorists are all going to come after me, and he did sacrifice himself that way, but he did it for the little girl. And even when they're like, he said, don't cry for me, I'm the reason half of you guys are here. I brought half of you guys here. I just liked his arc. I would say I did like his acting in the beginning too. I liked him much better than the quote unquote terrorist Pakistani guy. I can't even forget his name. I remember IPL's Al Jawad something like that. His acting wasn't the best, and I didn't like
I did like how he got down and dirty in the trash. Like,
that was nasty.
He was in survival mode. But it just, I don't know. It was just, you're talking about the buffet thing, and I thought that's what they did with these character arcs. They made them into, like, all shades of gray, so to speak, in the same movie, all those characters, and it doesn't always work. You don't have to have one person just be the straight villain the entire time, but it was just all over the place. As far as overall grade, I wrote right here, ending sucked. Overall grade for me, I am a Baaghi fanboy. I gave the first one an A-, and I stand by it because I enjoyed that so much. Oh, before I get to the grade, did you know, this is what I did not see, and I didn't fall asleep, I didn't leave the theater once. I did not see the scene where all the bones broke at one time that they show in the trailer.
That was not in the
trailer. They did not show that. I was waiting. That was one of the main reasons I went to go see this movie. I was waiting for that. It didn't happen. Shame on you. My overall grade, I'm going to give this, because I don't think it's garbage, I'm going to give this a C+. I really am, because there were some elements I enjoyed. I enjoyed the action a whole lot. I enjoyed the jokes. I thought that was great. The second act was the longest one, and I felt like that was by far the best part of the movie. The beginning was slow, and the ending was just not really put together well. The acting was, and when you don't have all three cohesive parts, the other things that you notice get heightened up. So C+.
So I'm a little bit lower than you on my grade, but before I get to my grade, somebody in your in your solo reaction when you went to go see it was like, you got to watch the angry rant of the guy that was crying on screen. Like, I do not feel that way about it. And if he really wants to cry, watch Hellboy 2019. Watch Fantastic Four with the one with Michael B. Jordan. That movie made me want to poke my eyes out. It was so bad. Okay, this isn't even that close to bad. Not even a little bit. All right, I'm gonna give it a C-. All right, I said it's not the worst film I've seen this year. It's not. The action scenes were great. I'd rather go sit through this than Suicide Squad than Birds of Prey again. And you know, I'm just being honest. So I give it a C-. I think that again, Tiger Shroff, if you give him some better material, it'll be better. And if the story was better, it would be better. Like you said, some things don't make sense. You go out of your way to kidnap Bikram, but have no plan for him. what? What are you? You know what I mean? Like certain things just did not make sense. So from that perspective, I'm like, oh. But was it total garbage? Absolutely not.
No.
Oh man, I was forced to go with my teenage kids to go watch that Fantasy Island.
Is that not good? I actually wanted to see it.
Bro.
Nothing, huh?
The horror trope has gotten so bad. I think we could write a better horror movie. I promise you, we could write a better horror movie, man. It was so bad. I mean, like eye-poppingly bad. It was. You know what? The best horror movie I've actually seen in quite a while was Tumbad. Was it Tumbad that we saw?
Tumbad.
That was awesome. But Fantasy, bro. Angry Rant guy, watch Fantasy Island and get back to us. That was horrible.
On that note, we're going to conclude this review. Thanks so much for watching our reactions. We are going to be doing this more often when I don't want to say a bigger movie, but a movie that we have some interest in comes out in the theater and our schedule allows us. We're going to do the reactions afterwards. We're going to do the reviews after that. That's one of the things that got us excited about doing this channel is being able to do spoiler-free, spoiler-full, all that kind of stuff. So thanks for sitting through this review.
Did you get the trailer the movie Medium? Did you get the trailer for Medium?
Yeah.
I want to watch that so bad.
Reaction to it.
Did you do it?
You didn't watch it?
I didn't see that one. No, dude. You know me.
Angrezi Medium. Angrezi means English.
Angrezi Medium. Well, you know, I got a son in college right now. I know what that pain. So I definitely want to watch that. You know, it's not your typical action movie or superhero movie, the kind of thing I'm into. But as a parent who has a kid in college and has to make tough choices, working a second job, because the one scene that I loved, he was like, it's 10 million rupees. 10 million rupees? He was like,
unfortunately, that actor, he's a big time actor. He's in the Lunchbox, many other things. He's suffering from a tumor right now or something.
Oh,
like that.
wow, really?
Yeah, so I mean, he's going through some tough times right now. But we hope you enjoyed this review. Irfan Khan, we send you our love and our prayers. We hope you're feeling better. And if you like this review, go ahead and give us your thoughts. If you did not, give us your thoughts anyways. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
All that good stuff.
And we always got more videos coming out for you. Until next time.
Later.